Hey y'all, happy Monday evening. Welcome to another What Else is Going On, aka We Go Podcast YouTube video. I'm your girl, your host, Taria. I hope that y'all had a good Monday. I hope your week is starting off right, but guess what? If it's not, don't lose hope because it can get better. It doesn't have to Monday, it doesn't your week doesn't have to start off perfect on Monday for it to be good. If Monday don't work, if the Lord stay the same, when what they say, if the creek don't rise, you will live another day to try to get it right. So there's a couple of things I want to get into regarding Atlanta. This video is going to be short, but Atlanta focused. I am going to do a recap of Atlanta. I'm going to tell you, I didn't want to do one because I got pissed off being gaslit as a viewer. Okay. But we'll get into that when I do the recap. But let's get into Dwight Eubanks, a fashion show with no fashions. How dreadful. Dwight has come to us. This is according to a People exclusive. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Dwight Eubanks diagnosed with prostate cancer. I just have to laugh instead of crying about this whole journey, the celebrity hairstylist tells People. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Dwight Eubanks reveals that he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. The celebrity stylist, 64, Dwight looks so good, opened up to People exclusively about being diagnosed earlier this year and why he's so adamant about encouraging others to stay on top of their health. Nearly 30 years ago, Eubanks' grandfather was diagnosed with prostate cancer. He kept his diagnosis a secret from the family before later dying from the disease. From that point, Eubanks was very conscious about the possibility of having a similar fate. However, he says he was told that because the family history of prostate cancer came from his mother's side, there wasn't a high risk of him getting a diagnosis himself. Oh, okay. It was his grandfather on his mother's side. Okay, his mother's father. So I'm thinking that I'm good. I was confident that I was Superman. I was cleared. I was going to be okay, and I just never thought about it. In January, Eubanks' church was hosting a health fair, and he decided to get blood work done. Wow. A week later, his doctor called and told him to come in as soon as possible. Despite feeling healthy and having no alarming symptoms, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. A follow up prostate specific antigen, which is a PSA, blood test in April confirmed the diagnosis. I was shocked. I was angry, he recalls. I was an emotional wreck. When you hear the word cancer, you freak out. I'm human. Society has told us that cancer was just devastating and you have just days to live. So, of course, I freaked out and I think I'm still freaked out. So, prostate cancer is the second most common cancer among men in the United States, according to the American Cancer Society. About 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed during their lifetime. However, Black and African American men are at a greater risk, with 1 in 6 who will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. I talk to my husband about this all the time, and I told him it's time he needs to get checked. And if he watches this video, he probably gonna roll his eyes or be like, "Why did you say that?" No, I'm gonna keep, because before they were saying 50, right? But now I'm not sure what the age limit is, but he's 48. So this is just, we have to take care of our health. Like I said in the other video a couple of days ago, when Moneta talked about her body giving her a sign, like something might not be right, she felt like her body gave her a sign. We have to take care of ourselves. If we don't have our health, we need to do our part. And then if something is found, hopefully then with medicine and all different things, it will work out in our favor. But we at least have to do our part. Shout out to Dwight for taking that, going to get screened, getting the blood test and all of that. Additionally, Black men are twice as likely to die from prostate cancer than white men. While Eubanks was grappling with his diagnosis, he also learned that his cancer could have been caught earlier. As someone living with HIV since the 80s, the TV personality has had routine checkups with doctor every 6 months. After getting diagnosed with prostate cancer, his doctors reviewed past medical records and noticed that in 2022, he had high PSA levels that weren't brought up. I was like, are you kidding me? This was back in 2022, and nobody said anything to me. He just said, you're undetectable, so you're fine. Never said anything about my prostate. I guess they just weren't looking at that. As frustrated as he was about the possibility of getting a diagnosis sooner, Eubanks admitted, I just have to laugh instead of crying about this whole journey. Now, to mark the beginning of Men's Health Month, Eubanks is partnering with Zero Prostate Cancer as their new brand ambassador to raise awareness and encourage other men, especially Black men, about the importance of getting screened. Additionally, Eubanks will be a featured speaker at Zero Prostate Cancer's virtual education and support summit. That is really good. That's going to be June 3rd through the 5th. Oh, starts tomorrow. What's amazing about it is that I feel like a higher power has been preparing me for this moment to be a light of hope for others, noting that he knew immediately that he was going to be transparent about his diagnosis, unlike his grandfather's approach, which we just read his grandfather kept it a secret until he passed away from it. I could not be silent with this because it could help people if they just get tested and don't wait too long. And most important, ask questions. Look at your record. I can't say what should have, could have, or would have, but I just have to embrace where I am now and be grateful and try to help somebody along the way. Moving forward, he's still working with doctors on a treatment plan that will best suit him. Witnessing a longtime friend go through a traumatic prostate cancer journey 4 years ago, he said he's adamant about not having his prostate removed or suffering the way he's seen others suffered. We're exploring other possibilities to see what route to go. I'm sorry, he says we are, because I want to say exactly what he said. He said, so we are exploring possibilities to see what route to go, and we have not come up with one yet. I have a great team, about 4 different doctors, 2 urologists, another specialist, and my family physician. So I'm comfortable and I'm forever grateful to have such a team and support, and we are going to figure it out. But I feel good, Eubank stresses. I'm 64. That's young to me. We're all going to go through something. But when we reach those bridges, you have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and carry on, because life really is a beautiful thing. You know, what a beautiful ending to that article, and a reminder that life is a beautiful thing. I think sometimes, I know I'm gonna speak for me, I get so caught up in the day to day, and I have this, I don't have this. Is this going to happen for me? This is not happening fast enough. I want to do this. Oh, I got to pay this. Oh, this one needs that. I got to do this. Boom, 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 boom. And before you know it, life has moved on. And so, shout out to Dwight for reminding us, because life is really a beautiful thing, and the attitude that he has going. And I'm sure he has his days where he's like, if they had just told me sooner. You know, my husband had, we initially had a nurse practitioner. And I think I like nurse practitioners. So, I mean, but this is not to say that, but she was a white woman. And when I started going, because my health was, had to get better, I was like, you need to go to, like, we need to be better about, being on top of our health. And he went to get his yearly, I was going to say his annual, child, what, pap smear? No. He would get his yearly physical, right? So fast forward, she left the practice. And let me go back. So I was getting a steroid shot in my knees, because the doctor said I have arthritis in my knees, my nurse practitioner. And she said it was from running. So find something else other than running. I said, do you run? She said, yeah. I said, slow blink, but anyway, so the first time it was done, it was by a doctor, and I barely felt it go in, but child, it wore off quick. The second time, oh child, you know how you get a flashback. Jesus, I'm getting a flashback right now. Oh Lord. Second time I got it done was by an African doctor, right? And I'm saying that, or a Black doctor, but he's African. And I felt it go in, baby. But it lasted for like 2 years. And like, because after I got the first one, I wanted to go back in 3 months. They were like, well, you need to wait like 6. But this second one I got lasted for years. I just recently went and got one like last year, and it's fine, right? However, I was like, oh my gosh, he did that. And he was asking me questions and talking to me, and I really liked him. Well, my nurse practitioner ended up leaving. Ain't send no letter, ain't tell nobody. I go to get something to go to make like an appointment or something with her. She gone. I said, I want to see Doctor, and I said his name, and I loved it. So I started going to him. So that's who my husband started going to. Mind you, remember I told you my husband was getting his yearly physicals with the nurse practitioner. You know, he goes to the doctor in 2023 for his annual physical, and that's when we have found out. We both were with the nurse practitioner. Then when she left, I said, let's go to Dr. Ebo. So he goes to see Dr. Ebo for the first time in 2023. Dr. Ebo takes all his vitals, does everything. Results come back. He says, no one ever told you about your high blood pressure in 2022. When he had his physical and all that stuff with her and blood work and all that, yeah, had high blood pressure then. I remember he would get headaches a lot, like all kinds of stuff, like symptoms of high blood pressure. She never told him. And Dr. Ebo, his name is Dr. Ebo. It's short for something, but we just call him Dr. Ebo. He said, you know, being a black man is really high. Blood pressure is there's high numbers in our community. So we want to make sure, you know, that we get this taken care of, blah, 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 blah. And that's when it also dawned on me, like this doctor that he went to before, the nurse practitioner, like you ran all these tests. Oh, everything's fine. The next year we go see Dr. Ebo, the black doctor, and he's like, So he was on medicine and only for a little while, and then his blood pressure stabilized and it's been good since then. But it just was like, what if something had happened in that year, you know? So I see what Dwight is saying, and he, you know, we got to advocate for ourselves and speak up for ourselves. Like he said, if we feel something, say something. I know sometimes you feel weird saying something to the doctor. With my nurse practitioner, I should have known something then. I guess because I was just like wanted to get my health back on track so bad, and she seemed like she was in it. I kept saying something's still off, something's still off. I started doing my own research. And then I would go to her and say, I need to be tested for this. I need to be tested for that. And then finally, and it was like, why did I have to do that? So I appreciate now having a doctor that looks like me, looks like my husband, who also takes that into consideration. Even the weight chart, he likes the weight that I'm at now. He was like, we're not going by those other charts because they're not made for us, you know? So it's really important. So shout out to Dwight. My prayers are with him, his family, his loved ones, you know, the people that are supporting him during this time. And he's handling it with such grace. And I don't want that to sound like because who says you have to handle it that way? You know what I mean? We each have our emotions around these things, but he's always just looking at him. He's always just been such a graceful person to me, and he's handling it with grace. So shout out to Dwight. We are praying for you, Dwight, and we are rooting for you. And let this be another lesson. Our health, and we can speak up. We are allowed to push and speak up for ourselves. Moving on to a little something, a little lighter, if you will. Child, the girls is mad. They fighting, they arguing, they all on social media. Let's get into it. Let's see what Porsha had to say on her YouTube. No, we're not playing the whole thing, y'all. I promise. I promise. I told y'all I would never do that again. Hold on. Wait.
Radar, right? When it comes to group conversation. So I am looking forward to this reunion so that we're all going to be in the same room. We don't have to worry about Kelli trying to talk over everybody and be the moderator. She seems like she does the best job she can, but we don't need that from her. We have a real host, which is Andy, and Andy is going to be able to move through the conversation and let people speak who need to speak. And my biggest focus will definitely be for each person to be heard. I feel like at the end of the day, when it comes to truth, you got to hear all sides. And I feel like the audience watching this season was confused about a lot.
No, we weren't.
I mean, y'all definitely were confused and upset with me. This season, I feel there was a lot that went under the radar, right? When it comes to group conversation. So I am looking forward to this reunion so that we're all going to be in the same room. We don't have to worry about Kelli trying to talk over everybody and be the moderator. She seems like she does the best job she can, but we don't need that from her. We have a real host, which is Andy, and Andy is going to be able to move through the conversation and let people speak who need to speak. And my biggest focus will definitely be for each person to be heard. I feel like at the end of the day, when it comes to truth, you got to hear all sides. And I feel like the audience watching this season was confused about a lot. Right? I mean, y'all definitely were confused and upset with me. This season, I feel there was a lot that
Kelli responded, okay, finally. Now, Andy, please get this girl a harness so she can finally sit down and answer the questions she's been avoiding. There will be no peach passes at the reunion. And then it's a ticket that says admit one. Oh, we'll see someone finally getting held accountable at Porsha for real. Hashtag she's a runner, she's a track star. Kelli, sometimes I feel like you be getting into stuff that you be having a beef with somebody because somebody else be having a beef. But this right here, she called you and you answered. I'm with Kelli. Oh, by the way, this is from Bravo Snark Side on Instagram. Let me tell you something. I wasn't confused. I know we don't get to see all the things. Some things get cut out, but I'm not confused. I'm not confused, and I feel like Porsha, you trying to gaslight me, and I'm not confused at all. But we'll get into that when we go over the recap. Yeah, Porsha does get the pumping, get up. She gets up and gets the pumping it through or away from the conversation with Drew, with Shamea. She's done that. I heard somebody say that maybe she does it because she doesn't want to like drag somebody like she gets so upset. Grow up every single time. I think she thought she was going to go in there with Drew and Drew was just going to be like, and Drew wasn't going to be coming back, not just letting her sit there and form a narrative about her again. I think she was caught off guard with Shamea approaching her on the show as well. So she was like, nah. And I feel two ways about that. I feel like Shamea, yeah, I get it. Your issues you have with Porsha. Also, you had a conversation. My thing with Shamea is you keep acting like you guys always ask me about my friendship with Porsha. You don't have to have you get in the conversations with them about your friendship with Porsha. You ain't got to do it. You could shut it down once. So I saw both sides of that with Porsha and Shamea. It wasn't all on Porsha and it wasn't all on Shamea. But Kelli, I said, come on, Kelli. She clocked it. Exactly. This reunion, I hope, will be interesting. But y'all let me know what y'all think. How y'all feel about Kelli? Are your feelings changing about Kelli? She got a microphone in that throat now. Oh, and I'm loud too. I know, but sometimes I'll be like, Kelli. But she called it like she see it, honey. Next up, let's get into, there's something else I wanted to get into. Hold on, but I'm gonna stop the share because I don't know if, let's see. Child, did you see this? I'm just gonna read it to you. Drew Sidora has some words for Miss Shamea from the Peach Report. Drew tweeted, "You bark louder than the truth, but at least you're consistent, always sitting when told." Y'all, look at this. You bark louder than the truth, but at least you're consistent, always sitting when told. Come on, Drew. Because Shamea and this fake beef, we'll get into it more on the recap. But it's getting annoying. But I just wanted to bring that in there. Last up, so back a couple of months ago, Angela was on Reality with Page Six, and she said that Phaedra was the question. I want to play it for y'all, but let me hold on. I'm gonna play it for y'all, and maybe it won't flag. Okay. Let's see. This is the question they asked.
After your first season of Atlanta, who are you the least peachy with? Oh, so if I don't want to say, I have to drink the tea? Mm-hmm. Yes. But you can just say the name too. Phaedra. Oh.
Oh my God, not Phaedra. And she wasn't even around that much.
It didn't take much.
For
it just
you.
took a scene.
Wow.
Oh, scene. I mean, it just took an event. It just took an introduction.
It doesn't take much. Okay.
It just took a little clout chasing.
Oh, clout chasing.
It just took a little.
So you hear that? She says that Phaedra was clout chasing her. Well, child, Phaedra had some things to say, honey, to those same people. Um, she was talking to the host of Reality. Let's hear what Phaedra has to say.
Beef at the end. She said you came for her. What can you tell us? She called you thirsty. And she
Chasing, which made me laugh.
She said you were chasing clout by coming for her.
Clout.
So what can you say about that situation?
What? She's new to this, and I'm really true to it. I've been doing this for well over several decades. So, clout, I don't need that. I've got it,
How are the two of you today?
You know what? I just spoke to her yesterday.
Oh, so we're good.
But I think, we did have a misunderstanding.
Okay.
But that's life.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I didn't get to know her well, but there was a little friction with us.
And was the misunderstanding Charles related?
Well, it's weird, honey. You got to see it for yourself. It's the weirdest thing ever. You got to see it for yourself. It's very strange.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how entertaining is your misunderstanding going to be to watch?
I think it's going to be off the Richter scale.
Okay. You said you two had a little beef.
Child, isn't it because Phaedra had heard rumors about Charles and was saying it? And the person gonna show up now. I don't know if Phaedra invited them or not, but the person gonna show up to Angela and Charles's charity event, correct? Isn't that what's gonna happen? Child. Yo, what y'all think? Y'all think that Phaedra clout chasing off of Angela Oakley? Now, I had one of y'all when we talked about this months prior, and Angela saying that one of y'all said that Phaedra doesn't need to clout chase off of Angela, and then somebody else said, well, Angela and Charles are known, so just because it's Phaedra, she still could have been clout chasing. So what do y'all think now? Do y'all think Phaedra is clout chased her? Because I'm like, what is their beef? But I think it all stems from Phaedra continuing to say that Angela was a secret. I guess we gonna see. I hope this reunion is spicy. And I'm normally not a reunion girl, but I'm gonna be a reunion girl this time. So y'all let me know what y'all think about the Phaedra and Angela of it, the Angela of it all. Let me know what y'all think. Child, Drew said, I got to read it again. You bark louder than the truth, but at least you're consistent. Always. Always sitting when told. I'm sorry. You ate with that one. I'm sorry. And Porsha said, we confused. And we all are wishing, I know, Dwight the best. Prayers up for Dwight. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Talk to you later. I'm about to eat my chili. See ya.